10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I really value calisthenics because I do think no matter what, mastery of body weight movements are extremely important, you know? So you could do whatever you want in the gym, resistance wise, but I do think you should be able to master your body, as far as how you move your your own body weight. So, like I said, what's snow? Oh, we're having a snowstorm right now? Is that what's happening in New York right now? Oh, it didn't prevent me from coming out here, getting things accomplished. What's snow? I'm gonna keep switching the grip over here. Today is a miscellaneous day, so this is just one of those like we're coasting, nothing as far as like a major body part to knock out. So we're gonna do a lot of the in betweens, like I call them, forearms, traps, abs, obliques, uh, calves, shins, all of that stuff. And of course, calisthenics and handstands. We're going to do handstands as well. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's good to do these as well in the Roman chair. Whether you do them straight leg or knees bent, knee raises, either way. Now, if you go up high like this and kind of, rotate your hips up, that's more, I would say, core. But if you just kind of come up halfway like this, you're working your hip flexors. And I think there's like a plus for each. Because if you go really high and your hips come up off the back, then you're focusing on core a bit more, right? When you come up and stop at a certain point, you're focusing on your hip flexors. Now, what's important with that is, in my opinion, so if you really want to focus on like the lower part of your abs, then it's important to come up high. Like if this is your back, you want to come up where your hips are coming off the back of the platform, right? But if you come up, like let's say you're doing knee raises and you come up halfway, and then you really hit your hip flexors. Now, I find the benefit in doing both. Because yeah, I want my core to be on point, but at the same time, I see benefits in doing hip flexors because if you're trying to focus on, let's say, like your pelvic floor, and you want your pelvic floor health to be on point, then it's good to work your hip flexors as well as all the areas around that. Like if you do lunges, side lunges, squats, hip thrusts, and then like I said, Roman chair where you're only going halfway, that's great for the hip flexors. So you're kind of hitting from all angles. And then the only other thing you could add to that is actually doing Kegels, both regular Kegels and reverse Kegels for pelvic floor health. But if you're trying to hit your core, then you want to come up a little higher. So there are benefits for both. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go reverse. Straight chin up on this one. This is a weird angle. It's kind of like weirdly for resembling like a straight bar. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Roman chair. I would say go half and half. Hip flexors and core. You know? Okay. Hope everyone's doing well on this day after Christmas. You know, it's always a positive thing to see folks in here getting busy. I'm gonna start with like a bigger area, which would be hip thrusts for glutes. Make it happen. Actually, let's do it from this angle. This is what would make sense, right? So, a couple plates here already. So let's but like I said, it's good to see people in here, even though, you know, there's a storm that's occurring and it's probably gonna last for a couple of days. So people are not scared to come out and get busy, you know? So hope you're all staying safe and warm, and use this as a bit of motivation if you see it. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. You know, another thing, right? So it's not just the what snow as far as a snowstorm is concerned. That's like, okay, I'm swerving that. I'm still coming here and I'm going to get busy regardless, right? But it's the fact that I just sprained my left butt cheek the day before. Like, I couldn't even walk. I just got my whip back and I was feeling kind of paralyzed where I couldn't even walk. I was like crippled. But I was like, screw that. I just got my whip back. I'm out. And I did. I went out and I was, you know, it actually helped moving around, because every time I stood still or I like sat down for an extended period of time, it would flare up and it was crazy, right? So fortunately, I slept correctly, because the way I sprained it to begin with was through sleep. I slept funny and I winded up spraining my left glute really bad, to the point of where I couldn't walk. So, like I said, I just got my whip back, was walking as much as I could, and all that extra activity actually helped me. So then it was like the pain was going away, and then fortunately, yesterday, I slept a lot. And I actually like undid what I did by sleeping incorrectly to begin with. So now it's not fully gone, but it's definitely not as bad as it was. So the combination of the sprained left glute and a snowstorm that's going on, it's like what snow, you know? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Until this place opens up 24 hours, it's still restricted by its like normal operating hours. So today's Friday, and in this gym, they close early. Like usually it's open till 11 o'clock. Today it closes at 10. So only got a half hour left, but we're moving right along. Get another set here, keep it moving. Like I said, today is miscellaneous stuff. So I'll be doing like glutes, doing hammies, handstands, forearms, obliques, a little bit of core, calves, shins, you know, all the miscellaneous stuff. Definitely got to get some handstands, push-ups, and some regular push-ups. So I got to get that in. All right, last set here. And of course, glutes, right? Okay, so let's get some more calisthenic work in. Let's do a combination of handstand push-ups as well as regular push-ups. I got a nice dip bar here too, that's cool. Okay. Here we go. This is a little quiet corner I like to go to do my thing here. Pardon my back. So, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Happy holidays, everyone. Let's get busy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's do a couple sets here. Go right back to resistance, you know. I just posted like recently, right? I was talking about the weather and how, like, yeah, it's true. We don't have the same type of snow like when I was young growing up. Whether you want to, you know, say that's global warming, whatever it is, it's definitely true. Temperatures have been going up, and precipitation here is not the same from snow like it once was. We definitely don't get as much snow, but we have actually more rain nowadays. So it's interesting. It's like precipitation balanced out from rain, whereas before, I don't know if it rained as much, but it definitely snowed way more. So nowadays, a way lesser amount of snow is a big deal over here than it once was. I would assume like if it snows in Georgia, South Carolina, Mississippi, southern Alabama, parts of Texas, and parts of Florida, it'd be a big deal over there, right? Nowadays in southern New York, it's kind of a big deal when we get like over a couple of days, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches. So it's definitely a difference, that's for sure. Second set here. Two, three, four, six. What's up, Slime? How you doing, bro? Hope you're feeling better. I know you were under the weather recently. I was hurt, man. I sprained my left glute. It's crazy. I just did hip thrust for glutes. So definitely way better now, But yeah, I'm doing all right now. I feel a lot better than I was, that's for sure. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 10, 8, 10, 6, 5. Yeah, we're good though, Let's keep it moving. I just wanted to get those out the way. Handstands and regular push-ups. So now I want to knock these out, get these out the way as well. Boop. Christmas was all right, man. For me, personally, every day is Christmas. Every day is a holiday. That's not to take anything away from Christmas and New Year's Eve and Thanksgiving and Kwanzaa and Hanukkah and whatever holidays there are. Chinese New Year. No, but to me, every day is a holiday worth celebrating. That means life in general is worth celebrating every day. We should have a sense of purpose and a drive that's like insatiable and unexplainable, on a day-to-day basis. That's why I film, because I want to pass this energy, I like to focus on seated calves, like by having my knees bent, so I can target the soleus. So that's why I kind of modify a regular straight leg calf extension to do seated this way, Boom. Do a few sets here, and then we'll keep it moving. Well, we'll do a few sets of modified calves for soleus, and then we'll do a few sets to get straight leg for gastrocs up here. What equipment you talking about, Slime? You talking about for the phone or what? You trying to get into the whole like lives and YouTube and stuff like that? Is that what you mean? Next set. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Since there are a couple of hamstring machines here, I don't really, I'm obviously conscious of opposing muscle groups and symmetry, not just aesthetically, but making sure there aren't like you don't want your body to be topsy-turvy as far as muscle imbalances, right? Because that'll cause weird injuries in like odd places that are seemingly on like not connected, right? Like if you have strong quads and then you know you have weak hamstrings, you might wind up getting like a hernia, or you might end up like your glutes have to be strong, your hammies, meaning your posterior chain has to be strong, and your core has to be strong. So you can't just have strong quads because you're going to wind up catching an injury. Now, if everything is strong altogether, then chances are you wind up having like an almost like invincible body. It's like you have a shield because you strengthen everything as a whole. Therefore, the chances of injuries are far less, not just in the gym and not just from, sports, but just like in day-to-day life. So that's why I think my quads are relatively strong. I'm gonna focus on the posterior chain. I'm gonna do some hammy work. I already did glutes, so I'm gonna do a little bit of hamstring work next. Appreciate the compliments, Stoicus. So I don't know if you're talking about like my gym or this gym. This is not my gym. This is a franchise location. My gym, yeah, I do have a lot of equipment, and took a long time for me to get it right. Took a lot of time, energy, funds. But I definitely do have a lot of stuff, and now I'm trying to get rid of a lot of stuff. You know, so. But yeah. Like my gym has an actual seated calf machine. Like this is a relatively large franchise location. They don't have that. None of their locations have a seated calf machine, right? And then when I ask people that work here, it's like, do you have a seated calf machine? They always point to this machine. Like this is not seated calves. If you know, you know. Like this is just a regular calf extension machine, right? So it's designed for you to have a straight leg. You're not going to hit soleus like that. So like I said, if you know, you know. But I have a seated calf machine, so that was very important to me because I know the benefits of strengthening your soleus. Let me bring this down a little. So I'm going to do a few sets of regular gastroc work, and then I'll go right to hammies. Well, I could tell you one thing, Slime. I'm not married. I don't have any kids. I don't have any, I don't have any secret marriages. None of that. So, yeah, I don't have the time, Jordy, to do 12 sets. They close early today. This location closes early today on Fridays. So I have to move from one to the next, to the next, to the next. I still want to get hammies. I still want to get forearm work, and I still want to get handstand practice. So I gotta keep it moving. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not exactly sure, Slime, what you mean by what happened. Like, what are you asking about what happened? If you're asking about a relationship, like, I don't know, I got fortunate. I don't know. Guess I'm lucky like that. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm just very focused, To each their own, Everyone thinks differently about different topics. For me, I can't be distracted right now, you know, with anything. And that's a lot of energy right there, you know. For fun, honestly, I don't think about fun right now. Like I said earlier, every day is a holiday. Every day is fun. You know, I don't necessarily have to allocate time separately for fun when I'm having fun throughout the whole process, you know? So it's almost like I haven't cheated on the way I eat for years now. So sometimes people will be like, "Well, what do you like? What snacks do you have?" I don't do snacks. You know, there's no such thing as snacks because I I have gotten to a place where I enjoy the way I eat. So I don't have to have like pizza and et cetera, and so things that I enjoyed at some point, right? So that's kind of how I think about fun. You know, it's like I don't think that way because I try and have fun like doing productive things all the time, you know? So I try and genuinely have fun like every moment without actually allocating time specifically for whatever like people might perceive to be fun, you know? That's not to say I won't allocate time to do certain activities. Just right now I can't be distracted, you know? I'm just very focused. Hold on a second. So this is the prone leg. I think I could do, I actually wanted to do this last time. So instead of doing prone, I'll do it seated and I'll do it this way. Because it's the same thing. You're still hitting, no, I can't put it there. Yeah, I'll just put it here. No, that won't work. Yeah, just keep it there. This is weird. It's like, and this thing is sliding. Okay. I'm not gonna waste time. We only have like 15 minutes left, so you know. Yeah, so um, when I say every day is a holiday, I mean like every day is like I don't associate it with like, okay, today's a day off because it's a holiday, because the government says it's a national holiday. So most businesses are going to be closed and most people are off and spending time with their family. No, I think that is the case all the time. It doesn't necessarily mean like every day is a day off per se, but every day is like a day to celebrate. That's what I mean by holiday, you know? But as far as like work, I have been I have different streams of revenue, all legitimate that come in, but what I have learned, same way I've just broken down with like being very not distracted and focused, is the same principles apply when it comes to frugality, like how you spend, how you save, how you bring down your debt to zero, how you keep your credit up, and how you put every single cent that you can afford once you get your debt down to zero, once you maintain high credit and your liquidity goes up, you put every single last cent you can afford into the markets and you invest. Because really, in my humble opinion, that is your only outlet in life to be able to truly, and this is coming from a business owner and an investment property uh, landlord as well. So I don't, I humbly don't believe there's any other way to legitimately do it to where you can actually afford to not work, you know? So that's my opinion. Ooh, this is solid weight right here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Woo. I'll do like 2 more sets and keep it moving because the time is like, we're at a place where we only have a few minutes left. And then I'm gonna get some post-workout consumption in. This is where I pull my glute, you know? I can't even fit. I gotta bring this up. Stop being foolish. This is my actual first time using this here. That's why I'm a little like clumsy, I guess. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I really like this machine, you know? What does it say? Yeah, we were talking about this the other day about like what it means to live off the grid. And I think part of that way of thinking is also like when you think about taxes in any government, and I don't mean like trying to necessarily evade taxes. I mean by like if you're not in the system, and I don't mean just like working off the books per se. I just mean like if you have less ways to be taxed, meaning you have to put yourself in that position to be taxed, right? So if you, like for example, I have an LLC, right? So with an LLC, you put yourself in the system to be taxed as a result, right? So if the LLC gets dissolved after it already had been started, if the LLC was launched, let's say in 2018, right? And the LLC just got dissolved, you are no longer in the system. So that's just an example of how you kind of like live off the grid by actually simplifying the way you're not in the system. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's keep it moving. Yeah, I mean, I think in every country, the tax system is pretty atrocious. You know, it's pretty unfair, and you know, for a lot of the same people that call scams on all types of things, they won't ever call it on this system. Sometimes you're literally getting like double taxed, you know? It's ridiculous. But like I said, instead of complaining about it, do something about it, right? Because you're putting yourself in that situation. So like I said, the goal is to get yourself out of that situation. And you can't just do it like that, right? You have to actually work at it. Like I said, frugality and how you spend and save, how you chip away at debt, and how you keep your credit high while, you know, not relying on it through debt, and get your liquidity up, you know, and invest in the markets. That's how you do it. But like what you do on a day-to-day basis with how you spend and how you save, that's something you literally have to unlearn and retrain yourself to do, and apply discipline and sacrifice to be able to master it, right? That's the most important part. It's your day-to-day. So you're not going to Dunkin' Donuts, you're not going to Starbucks, you're not buying this, you're not getting that, and not getting distracted every 5 seconds, right? That's how you do it. Then eventually you work less and less and less and less, because this job is not going to save you. Pretty much most jobs don't really give a crap about you. It doesn't matter what history you have. Yeah, you might have a job that has a little better job security, but they will can you in a flash. Doesn't matter what history or seniority you have. Always remember that. get a few sets of these. Bro, that's like, yeah, it's true. Like, it doesn't take very long. What you could do in 1 year, like if you apply discipline and really sacrifice, it all adds up on a day-to-day basis. You could really bring yourself to a completely different level in a year. What? I can't really teach you that. I mean, you have to look at everything you're buying and being distracted by on a day-to-day basis, right? So every single day that goes by and you have your habits, your rituals, things you probably don't need in your life, you have to learn to simplify everything to a point of where it's like, no, but I have to have that. Oh, no, but this has to happen. Oh, but we do that. That's our tradition. Or no, we have to go on that. Like, those are all the things, like when you break it down and you think to yourself, like, remember you asked, like, what do you do for fun, right? All of that is like, do you really need that? Do you really need it? And that's what I can't really teach you. You have to dig deeper from within and ask yourself, like, would you die if you didn't have it? So that's what it comes down to. How long can we hold, right? How long can we hold? How long can you hold? Yeah, exactly, right? You're not gonna die if you don't have those things, right? It doesn't matter what country you're in. Like, you're gonna have distractions all around you, right? That's why it goes back to the same thing I've been saying. I can't be distracted. So I become my own I become the most powerful version of myself when I'm not distracted, right? Like, if no one can take me off this square right here, no matter what, no one's gonna convince me to get off this square. And this square is the square in life where you're focused and you know you're in the center of this square. No one can remove me or take me off that mentally. You do that for a year straight, just imagine where you'll get to. All right. So, I didn't get a chance to do everything I wanted. I didn't do forms. I pretty much did everything else. All I didn't do was forms and maybe some core work, but it's all good. I need at least another set. One more set. Right back, let's go. Yeah, we're good. How much time do we? Yeah, they're gonna call it any minute now. What do I think about sea lions? I don't know. Sea lions to me are like, what are those creatures that are like, they're kind of like weasels, but they're in the water and they're extremely dangerous and very community-based and intelligent. They're like gigantic weasels that stay in the water. They're like in the rainforest and whatnot. I forget what they're called. It's just not coming to my mind right now. But they remind me of those. Like, no, not beavers. They have long, slender bodies like weasels, but they're in the water. They're mammals, but they're like very long and slender like weasels. It's just not coming to me right now, like what they're called. They're mammals. They look like ferrets, but they look like ferrets or weasels, but they live in the water. You're gonna make me go to Google right now to go look, I don't. Yeah, like seals, right? They're like seals. Freshwater seals? No, walruses are too big. But I would say they're like a cross between like them and walruses are like what sea lions are to me. Bro, this is not my house, man. This is a gym. This is not my house. And quite honestly, if I was able to purchase this, I wouldn't get it, I wouldn't get it. Yeah. But welcome, regardless, I just wouldn't get it. Like, it's too much. Not that it's too much financially, it's just too much to maintain. It's just ridiculous, space-wise. And then what you can't is, I hope you could hear me, because my mic is being covered. But like, what you can't, when I say maintain, I don't mean the cost. I'm talking about like the taxes. Remember, it goes back to what we were talking about. Like, you put yourself in those situations, right? So you're not ever going to stop the taxes. If this was my house, right, regardless of the price, you're not going to be able to control the taxes. And you can't control that the taxes keep going up, right? So you basically put yourself in that situation. So take care, bro. Take care. You too. Thank you. Appreciate it. So yeah, like I was saying, you put yourself in a situation where, are you trying to be in the system or not, right? So we don't have to be in any system if we choose not to. Are you going for the house that is like, like I gotta have the giant island of a kitchen with the huge counter that I can walk around, and I have to have the 3 bathrooms and the minimum 2-car garage with the in-ground pool outside, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And that's all great. That all sounds awesome. But you have to pay for that, right? I'm not talking about the price initially of the place, and most people can't afford, to just cover it in full. No, they have to also pay the mortgages on that, right? So besides the mortgage, like, they're going to crush you, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, you know what? I can afford it. So you're going to wind up paying the taxes that have no cap. And you're in the system, so they're going to keep raising the taxes. Before you know it, 6 years later, the taxes are not the same as when you initially purchased it. You put yourself in that predicament. So there are a lot of things, like on a simple level, like I was saying, Slime, you can control everything through your habits on a day-to-day basis, right? So if you prevent yourself from buying a whole bunch of things, let me tell you something, right? This vehicle, right? This vehicle just busted down on me recently, right? That's why I didn't have a whip for a while. I just got it back yesterday, right? So initially it was a 2019, right? And then a drunk driver hit me, totaled it. I was okay, fortunately, right? And it was a total, right? So then I upgraded to a 2021 of this vehicle. It's an electric vehicle, right? Now, this vehicle just broke down on me some time ago, right? And it took 2 weeks to fix it. Now, during that time, I was considering getting a new vehicle, right? But I wasn't going to get a new vehicle. This is a 2021, right? So I went to the dealership and I said, because they were like, oh, what are you trying to get, the 25, 2026? Just came out? Like, no, I want a 2021. So then they were asking me, they were like, because my credit is good, right? But they were asking, they were like, why do you want the 2021? I'm just curious. And I said, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with this vehicle. I like this vehicle. If I could, I'd get a 2019. But the problem is, like, there are certain things that were changed in 2021 that are like minimal for me, right? But if the 2019 was still good, because again, it goes back to the whole way of thinking about, like, am I being taken advantage of? Whether it's the taxes, how you think about anything. I know this was about a workout and I know I'm veering a little bit, but I'm breaking it down because that's part of the whole thought process to get to a place where you're not getting left behind. So me, as soon as you get a 2026, you're losing value and you're paying for that 2026. As soon as you get 1 mile on it, the value goes down tremendously, right? Now, if you're trying to, like for example, if I'm trying to get another vehicle, I'm not just going to hold on to this vehicle. I want to get some sort of resale value, right? And your resale value is going to be like crap because you have all this mileage. You see me, I'm driving all the time, right? So now I think about it where I'm like, there's nothing wrong with the 2021 to me. It could be 2028. And I'm looking at like a 2021, boom, a 2026 is going to be like 50 grand, right? But I love the 2021. So it's like, why should I get a 2026 or a 2028 when a 2026 is going to cost 50 grand, a 2021 I'll probably be able to get for 10 grand or less. And there's nothing wrong with the 2021. If you score a 2021 with low mileage, and it's not just about being cheap, because if you think like that, where it's like, oh, you're being cheap, you're gonna be lost because your job is not gonna save you. And you're going to be crushed by debt and you're living paycheck to paycheck. It doesn't matter if you're a glorified wealthy person who's really middle class but suffering and drowning in debt. Like, you're still broke. Like the next person who might have a different living standard and is showboating with a whole bunch of gear. You see me wearing the same thing all the time, right? It's not that I don't, shower or like wear different stuff underneath, but I wear the same thing all the time for a purpose. Like, when you stack up, you're not just stacking for a year. You're stacking for years and years and years and years while you keep a certain mind state and you live day to day a certain way while your credit stays high and keeps going up. You want to get into the 800 club, right? But at the same time, you should be gunning for 850, to be honest with you. But besides that, you want your debt to go all the way down, and you want to pay whatever bills you have a year in advance. So you have like basically nothing to worry about. And every penny you get from whatever stream of income you have coming in, you put into the market. And you do that for years and years and years. And you wait until your time comes. And when your time comes, no one can ever say you were lucky because you put yourself in that position. That's really it. All right, bro. Take care. Have a good one. Your mama, Justin, she loves it. Ask her. She chimes in from time to time. She loves it. If you haven't cleansed your system, I think for that long, I think I'd be worried way more than constipation. You know, you might have stage 3 or stage 4 by now. You know, goodness forbid. But I'm just saying, it is what it is. You know, Justin, I'm not joking. I'm dead ass serious. Ask her. She'll tell you. I'm around that age, so don't put it past me. You already know. Like, don't let the beard fool you. They see beyond that. I'm laughing too because it's like you just don't know. They see way beyond the beard and your little vomit emojis. Hey, ministry, how's it going? I appreciate your time and checking in. Welcome. Hope you're having a good holiday. And my relationship with spirituality in general is more than anything else I can describe. I'm doing my best in life to live in a very positive and productive manner. I over the last many years been working on myself to be I joke around and say like crude things sometimes, but I tend to think, especially nowadays, and it's been like this for quite some time, I think I'm a good person, and I'm a student, and when I say student, I'm a student of learning throughout life to be the best version of myself, and that goes for the spirituality aspect. I personally and humbly don't believe I need to follow any type of path that I'm not able to kind of feel for myself. And as long as I bring goodness to others with that path, I think spirituality wise, I'm going the right way. And I don't disrespect any religion. Doesn't matter if you worship rocks and stones. Like, I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not going to put you down, whatever it is, and believe me, I pay attention to the road. I have a lot of experience, and it's snowing outside. It's a storm. So believe me, I'm not looking at you, D Jones. I'm paying very close attention to the road, but that's what I think about, spirituality as a whole, or any religion, or any God, any per se God or prophet or anything. That's just what I think. And believe me, I'm definitely paying attention to the road, because this is not the type of driving condition that I should be playing around at all, because everyone has their hazards on. It's no joke right now. People are slippery. The roads are slippery, and people are slipping around crazily right now. So believe me, I'm not necessarily paying attention to my driving. I'm paying attention to the other people that are around me, because they are sliding, So it's no joke. But I'll be on the road like for a while. I'm just going to stop by quickly to get like a post-workout meal. If you know, but I focus on like, I don't eat, like I just got off of being on whole plant-based for a year and a half. I just reintroduced, I started with fish, Pacific Northwest wild caught small species, low mercury, and then I reintroduced high quality eggs. No dairy, no poultry, no red meat. And I focus on, pumpkin seeds, oysters, high quality eggs, and like I said, wild caught Pacific Northwest small species of fish with low mercury. If you know, you know. And I get everything I need. I like to think at my age, my hormones are where they need to be. My body fat is where it needs to be. I'm hitting resistance properly. I'm sleeping 7 to 8, sometimes 9 hours consistently. I keep intensity up. I do my best to keep my stress levels down. I'm staying as healthy as possible with my nutrition. I pay very close attention to what I consume. I stay hydrated. I practice good habits. And I'm well into financial freedom and mastery, which also helps with keeping your stress levels down, you know? So, yeah, just stay on point, you know? And this is not really the time, but I would also add to get the right type of sun exposure, you know? It would be like, I would say 15 to 30 minutes during the early morning hours. Like I said, this is not the right time, but 15 to 30 minutes of early morning hours, and then another 15 to 30 minutes of late evening hours, right? Those are ideal. Like I said, your mama, Justin, she doesn't mind at all. Ask her. I'm serious. Ask her. She'll tell you. But yeah, like other than that, I try and stay in alignment with like hobbies and passions, you know, because if you're able to focus on like things you're really into, and remember the goal, I just broke this whole thing down in detail, right? But the more you can get yourself to a place of financial literacy and mastery, the less you have to work. And the less you have to work, the more you can spend time doing the things you love to do. You know, so whether it's time with your family, me spending more time with Justin's mom, it could be like whatever you're into, you know, or what I'm into with her, like being her. Like it could be really anything, you know. So just you just have to work at it, you know, and all of that takes time. So it doesn't come like I always say, nobody said it'd be easy, you know. So just just give it time. You know the thing about it though, Justin, I'm not obsessed with her. She's obsessed with me. I think it's a color thing. Like she just likes the contrast, you know? And she says it all the time. She's just like, "Oh, your color, your color." I'm like, "Why are you obsessed with my color?" She's like, "I just love the contrast of our skin." Hey, it is what it is. She's like, "I thought you didn't like dark-skinned people." And she's like, you know, it is what it is. Oh, here we go. Now you want to pull that card. My mom's not alive. Yeah, sure, Justin. Sure. You want to try and get people to feel bad for you by pulling that one. Yeah, that was pretty clever. That was pretty clever. That's not what she, you know, that's not what happened last night. So you already know. But other than that, like, you know, sometimes when I do these live streams, sometimes they're quicker ones. Yo, yesterday I did an almost 4-hour live stream. I've never done that before. It was crazy, right? But you know, people were coming in and just like we were having a blast. It was like, okay, it was Christmas, and we were just like talking about all types of stuff, you know. And I was just like, I got carried away. Before you know it was like almost 4 hours. Usually these live streams last about an hour and change. Like, yo, get out of here, Justin. You came in attacking me, and now your feelings are hurt. Yeah, okay. Okay. Oh, but like, why did I do that to Justin? Because I'm talking about his mom, and now he's pulling up my mom was not a live card on me. Like, yeah, all right. Comes into a chat and comes out swinging, and then is like trying to, you know, try and pull on certain hurt strings of people, trying to rile up emotions. Okay, yeah, that works. Like I was telling ministry, right? I may not be
having Jesus Christ in my life the way some people would prefer, but I'm a good person. But at the same time, I'm a savage, right? So, like I said, I'm a student still. I'm still learning. Like I'm still trying to work on myself. That doesn't mean the savage can't come out. Shira, my car is not broken down. This is the first time. This is the second day I actually got the vehicle back from being broken down. You know, and I'm not a harm to her. Braylon, what's up? How you doing? I'm not a harm to her. She thinks I'm a sweetheart. But yeah, I'm glad to have the vehicle back, and as a result, now we're. Oh, you can see that? Okay, let's do that. Where are we? Is it this one? Yeah. Okay. I just pulled over. You know. I'm all right. I'm over here just playing around with folks, shits and giggles. Oh no, I'm gonna get flagged. I'm gonna get flagged by Justin Davis, Q Bink. Q Bink, Justin Davis is gonna flag me. Everyone flag Justin Davis for saying he's gonna flag me. But I hope you don't have other people that are females that are gonna sit where you just peed. Because it sounds like you're spraying around everywhere. Sprayed all over the seats, sprayed on the walls, like everything but the water. You know, you hit pretty much everything but the water. My fault, Dr. Doom, D Rider, name checks out. So, I mean, I definitely put respect on that name. Definitely have to put respect on that name because there was already respect embedded in that name to begin with. I didn't have to put respect on that. That was like, shoot, it came with it when you created it. Oh, good for you. Congratulations. Good for you, Braylon. We're proud of you. Now you get to like whatever you had before compared to now, it must be like running. Now you come into these live streams like this is easy. Like everything is smooth. Good for you. Congrats. And you're welcome. Bro, are we going to go back into the beard thing? Ask your mom. I don't know. Like, what does she think about it? She doesn't ever ask me that question. In fact, maybe 2 times she brought it up, she was like, I love your beard. So it's like, I felt like telling her, like, if you only knew about your son, like, your son is on my balls, like, hard. Like, all he talks about is my beard. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm getting the back-to-backs. It's crazy. Yeah, I've been to the pen before. Not drawing pen because I don't use a pen anymore when I write. I just write here. But like, yeah, I've been to. If you're talking about the pen, yeah, I've been to the pen for sure. But I am a heterosexual man, but I can appreciate the compliments. This guy with his RIP to my mom card that he's pulling. Yeah, but imagine, Braylon. Imagine I cut my beard, right? Like, what would they talk about then? They'd be talking about my lips still, because they'd be like, I love the way your lips move when you talk. They might say that, but it would have a totally different effect, right? If I didn't have the beard anymore. Like, imagine I cut the beard because this is driving me crazy. All they talk about is my beard. And then I cut it off. And it's like, why did I do that? I just fed into their nonsense. So it's good that we have, people. We have something to have people talk about, whether it's hit or miss. It doesn't matter, right? So let them keep talking. Justin over here is talking about like what happens if. Listen, the man or woman, whoever it was, just mentioned if I've been to the pen, right? I've been to the pen. All that time I had a beard. I wasn't worrying. Imagine how extreme that is, right? I came from war, straight up war, and I didn't ever have to worry about what you're bringing up. Why? Because I know how. I didn't come out with a scar on my face, none of that. Because I know how to move. You know, I know how to de-escalate. I know how to not put myself into situations. Have I gotten into fights? Yes. But as time progressed and I've matured and I've calmed down, I've learned how to, like I said, de-escalate and not put myself in situations where someone's gonna yank on my hair, yank on my beard, you know? Hi, Perla. How you doing? Braylon, I'm always out here, you know? It doesn't matter. Rain, sleet, snow, hail, hurricane, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, the day after Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Thanksgiving, my birthday, whoever's birthday, your birthday, I'm going to be out here, you know? So it is what it is. But yeah, the beard thing is definitely hit or miss, you know? Hey, Darren, cheers, buddy. Like, get yours, man. I hope you are, you know, in Maryland in the building. I hope you have a good one and enjoy this, you know, enjoy this seasonal time and drink a little bit more for me, you know. Even a tsunami, if it's well, actually, let's be real. Like if a tsunami was to hit and the water was like, how would I drive? You know, I might still come out like if I could. Like when the coast is clear, I'd be ducking and like peeking. But as long as it's realistic and practical, even though this may not seem realistic, but to me, it's like winters out here in New York used to be way worse, you know? So 4 to 8 inches is like, it's nothing crazy, you know? Yeah, it's actually 10 degrees colder over here. It's 27, Darren. But Maryland sounds, I mean, 37 is right on the border, in my opinion, of where it's better, you know? Because right around that 40, if it's still with no wind, 40 is definitely bearable, you know? So it's a good thing. And Louis, I don't know if you're still here, but you know, sometimes people like to do things where it's therapeutic for them. And for me, I like to sometimes gather my thoughts and just choose my own way to have, like, for example, right? Nowadays, when I come out with rhymes, I don't write with a pen, I write here and I do it while I multitask. So that's a form of therapy for me. Like I'll be like driving and doing whatever I'm doing. I'll be doing 3 different things at the same time, but I come out with rhymes in my head and I just keep repeating them. And that's how I like jot them down, right? And that's therapeutic. But then there are other times where I might just be sitting in the vehicle and I could be doing this by myself, but to actually have company and share thoughts and, you know, engage, it's therapeutic as well. So during a snowstorm, instead of driving, if I could pull over for a bit and just kick it with you all, why not? You know? And if you have like hobbies and passions, like if you can draw, if you could like whatever you do, play an instrument, whatever it is you do it, you know? Because that's a form of therapy as well. So right now this is like therapy, you know? The only thing behind me it would be deer that will come out at this time at night during the snow. But there's nothing else, you know? Other than that, the only thing behind me is my hair, you know, because I have long hair too. Oh, is it a boogeyman? Is it an alien? Like what is it? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? What is it? But you know what's crazy about the Shang Tsung reference? Can I turn the camera? Yeah, I could do that. Boom. Right? So yeah, I don't like what is this person scaring you, Braylon? Like where there's something do you think there's something like look, I see a lot of stuff every day. Sometimes I feel like, damn, if this was on live, it would have been crazy. Like if every like if like it's yeah, it's a killer, you know? Meanwhile, there's a killer in the vehicle right now. So what's a killer gonna do to a killer? Like, come on now, you know? I'm a killer on rhymes. Let's get that right before I like, you know, he incriminated himself. I'm not a killer of human beings. I'm a killer of MCs. But we do have a killer actually in New York City, from what I hear, like a serial killer. You know, that's going around. We're talking about like this person is killing females out here. You know, in Manhattan in the boroughs. So be careful, ladies. I don't know what that's about. Oh wow, that sounds scary. There's some scary folks that say some scary things. I'm not scared, but you all might be scaring people that are in here. So just be mindful. People, we're not trying to turn this into a horror show or a horror live. We don't need that, you know. But going back to what I was saying about the Shang Tsung thing, right? So that was part of yeah, it's true, Berla. Like, look it up. They're really talking about this serial killer thing in New York City right now. Like, there are a whole bunch of people where they can't really like figure out what's happening or why this is happening to women. And there are now murmurs of a serial killer out here in New York City, you know. I'm just saying, like this just came up because they want to talk about like there's something behind me and all of that. Like that's how it came up. And what I'm saying is actual fact. It's real. Like I'm not joking about that. But like what they're talking about, they're just trolling. To my understanding, there's nothing behind me, you know. But yeah, like Braylon, if you like, I and it's also difficult, right? Because I don't have like tens of hundreds of thousands of subs, but like if it got to a place where it was like there are a lot of subs here and I'm still doing this consistently and like a lot of people are engaged, shoot, I do a live stream immediately. You're like, oh shit, I gotta put this on the live, and I just like get everyone to be involved because I like to share things. But I definitely don't have any siblings. I have no brothers, sisters, no real family that I'm close to like that. Besides mom and dad that are still with me and healthy, but I have no wife, no kids, no one. I have no one. But the killers are I don't know. I don't know if it's a certain ethnicity. I don't know if they're like blondes and redheads, but I would have to double check on that, you know? So I don't know if it's an ethnicity thing or not, but I would have to research that again. But with the oh, that's good to hear, Braylon. You had an upbringing of at least some company, you know, because being an only child was well, it was kind of lonely at times, and now having no kids and I'm in no relationship and, I have to find ways to not be lonely, because it's all too common. I grew up that way, so I have a lot of time throughout life where I've been like that, so yeah, I kind of stopped doing that, the same way I stopped eating a certain way quite some time ago. I stopped doing that as well, Akhtar. I I don't really engage anymore. I don't do that, you know. That doesn't mean I don't grip it. I'm just saying I don't do that. Like I don't have an issue. I don't have a problem there. But going back to the Shang Tsung thing, right? So like I used to always think about, oh, okay, here we go, Tracy. Yeah. That I have a secret family now, because it's a stereotypical Indian thing. You know how they have their secret wives and family that they don't disclose, but then they it always comes to the light, right? But I always wanted to grow a beard, like Shang Tsung, but like those old kung fu movie masters, you know, where they have like they could fight crazy and then they have the long like gray beard. And it's like ever since I was like before I even turned 30, I was like, I wanted to do that. All right. Well, take care, Braylon. Have a good one. Thank you for checking in and enjoy your new phone. Good night. And I just I thought to myself, I wanna have a beard like that too, you know? And I worked at it. I worked on my beard and now it's like I did it. If I take this braid out and I let this beard out loose, like it literally covers my whole body. Like it literally covers everything. And I wound up doing it. I wanted to kind of have like a youngish face, but like a really grayed out beard. And still be mobile and somewhat flexible and agile and athletic and all of those things. And I pulled it off, So it was written, it was part of the plan, and I executed, So whether it's Shang Tsung or those old Sifus from the martial arts flicks from back in the day, I thought you were dead. You cannot defeat me. I must kill you now. One of those, and I did it. So now it's like when I do these live streams, like Braylon mentioned, there's not a live stream that goes by where the beard is not pointed out, whether it's a whole bunch of that's fire or a bunch of vomit emojis, like you need to cut that. So yeah. Other than that, it's I would say we're over the I got the workout in. Just wanted to check in the miscellaneous today, where we got all the in-between body parts. We did everything. And like I said, what's snow? It's like, okay, there's a snowstorm. What's snow? We still get it in. We still do what we had to. Oh, I sprained my left butt cheek. I'm going to do hip thrusts, So, and I'm still going to be on the road for the next however many hours. Doesn't matter. I'm going to just get a quick post-workout meal in. I might do some more squats and lunges, forward folds, and that's really it, But yeah, we're almost an hour and a half in. That's about like the usual with these live streams. Yesterday was 4 hours on a live stream. We were having fun, but geez, I might as well do it 24 hours, But nah. I try and keep it capped at like an hour and 15, an hour and a half. Kind of like where we're at right now. And that's about it. So I'm just gonna end it right now, and then till next time, I know we could probably keep this going for a long time, but I still gotta make things happen. I gotta get a meal in, and yeah, I'll be posting shortly. Keep it going. You already know. Thank you for checking in. As usual, I value everyone's time. Hope you have a solid weekend in front of you, and enjoy, the holidays. And till the next time.